Hello, everyone. We are live. It is Laugh and Learn Lunch, and you are here with Trey and Joya. Freaking G, you guys, we are in for an amazing ride because wait till you hear Joya. Her and I are in such synchronicity. We already have so many freaking things off the chain in order. So let me introduce myself first and foremost, because you know I could get going and then I forget all about me. So
don't forget about you.
Yes, we were talking about that too. Let's make sure and say the things we're supposed to. Okay, so Trey Urban here, known as the Transformational Energy Trainer. Why? Because after I healed myself from paralysis, I now teach others to release that deep physical or emotional pain and dis-ease. And this is how I attracted the amazing Joya, because she does it in her own way. But we attract each other because we are like lawyers or doctors. We specialize in our unique way, and you know, we have been gifted a unique way by divine, so it's always perfect, and we always attract our tribe. And this is why I love attracting other healers, because we help encourage and support each other, those of us who are doing the work. Because let me tell you, there's a lot of people out there who have the gift, who aren't taking care of themselves. And then just like anywhere else, you guys, there's the high vibrating ones and the medium, and then the not so much. So when I attracted this queen, I was fired up. Miss Joya, please introduce yourself to this amazing audience, all of these different platforms we're on. I cannot wait to get this conversation started. But first, I want her to introduce herself, and I want her to please let the audience know about your amazing upcoming events, because when we get going, sometimes we get going, and I want to make sure that we cover that, and we're going to do it again at the end. So please, Miss Joya.
Oh, well, Trey, first of all, thank you so much for having me on your show and in your space. And yes, your vibe attracts your tribe. That is so true. And like attracts like expresses like creates like. It's the law of expression. So I'm super grateful to be here with you. So thank you for having me. And so hi, everybody. I'm Joya, Reverend Joya. I'm actually a Reverend, and I am known as the vibrator or a vibologist. And I actually do help people free themselves from the struggles of self-sabotage through the power of sound. I use sound. I am a trained psycho-spiritual coach, and all of that information, all of my psycho-spiritual, everything that I know, I share freely and abundantly and from my heart in all of my social media spaces, because I want people to, you hear that one thing and you apply it, and that can shift your whole consciousness and change your life.
I agree. I love it so much. And that's why I love implementing only one concept a week.
Yes.
Really? Because
yes.
I know so many people who are like, oh, I read that book. And oh, yeah, I read it over the weekend. But what I've learned now is that used to impress me, all the people who would speed read through everything and had the whole rack of the books upon the shelf, right? And but yet their life did not reflect, nor did their attitude, right, reflect the application of said books. So I love learning a new concept, giving it time to solidify and marinate so that I could apply it, and then taking action on it. And the best way that I can implement it is by teaching it. So then, of course, I create a clubhouse room and then I'll be like, okay. So for me, you guys, right now, I currently have my Money Making Monday room on Clubhouse. And we are going over the science of getting rich, because it's a science, it's a law. And when you already know the law of attraction, and now I'm excited to hear that there's a law of expression, I was like, yes. So I wrote it down really quick, because I love, just because you didn't know about them, people, doesn't mean they weren't in play this whole time. Just
there's
like
no
law
new
of gravity.
Yeah. There are no truths. There's only things waiting to be discovered that we are not aware of yet. Yes.
And that's why I love being a detective of all things, of all times. And so Tuesday, Transformational Tuesday, And I am so blessed that I get to be friends because I'm riding on the same vibration as Michael Lozier, the man who wrote The Law of Attraction, and he's my dear friend. And not only is he freaking amazing, but he's a healer too, you guys. He's a highly sensitive, intuitive man which makes sense because only us people, highly sensitive, intuitive people, understand these laws and can tap into the spiritual downloads and get them out. And so over 22 years ago, this year will be 23 years ago that he wrote The Law of Attraction. So I get to help teach him the concepts, but I also am a healer too. I utilize energy. So I started off with Reiki, like Miss Joya. She started with sound, and I loved, and I got introduced. I love sound healing. So I utilize countless sound therapies when I do my indigenous healings. I have rattles, drums, and it's so funny because I have like my little things here because the little baby comes. So I have my baby drums, and it's the same because the vibration moves the energy that's stuck on your cellular system.
Absolutely. It's exactly what it does. Yes.
Please share more because this is Queen. We're talking about energy and vibration, and she's a master. So please, what is your perception of this vibration? What happens when sound happens?
Everything happens. So the way that I look at it is healing. And so just for a little background, so people understand where I'm coming from, that now to know me is to think that my life has always been perfect and happy and joyful. And I've always been this person that I am now. And that's absolutely not true. I grew up very tough, very abused. So when I became an adult, I survived a suicide attempt, but I was just numb. I felt nothing. Like I felt nothing. And it took me many, many years to get my feelings back. So after doing all this work through mindset, right? So we're taught to go through the head, to work with our mindset, to work with our thoughts. I actually studied mindfulness at UCLA and became a mindfulness trainer because I was interested in the neuroscience. I wanted to know what's happening. How does this work? How do we explain this? Mm-hmm. And then I started working with sound. And the reason I started working with sound is I grew up in a musical family. Music has been in my life my whole life. I love music like so many other people. And I was born to do this work. So it's one of those things when I started doing it that I was like, oh, it's so obvious. How did I not see this? And what it does is what I realized, how it helped my deeper healing. So I got stuck in a pattern. And that's why I started doing the work I do, is to help women who are like me, who got stuck in self-sabotage and they couldn't figure out why. It's like, the things in your head. I've read all the books. I have all the head knowledge. I'm applying some of it in my life with mindfulness trainings and meditating every day and doing those things. But yet still there's something in me that's overriding what I'm doing. So when I started working with sound, the way that I see it and my visual that I had for it is that it's like taking your foot and stomping into a still pond that hasn't been disturbed for a very long time. And when you do, all that stuff just goes whoosh to the surface. So it all arises to your conscious awareness out of the unconscious mind. Your whole body is your unconscious mind. Your whole body is your unconscious mind. Your whole body is your unconscious mind. I'm telling people this all the time because we have not been taught this. Your whole body is your unconscious mind. It stores all that stuff in there. So when you're working with vibration, it kicks it all up. So now it's arising from the unconscious mind to the conscious awareness. You become really aware now of all of the stuff. And boy, let me tell you, it's not fun. That is the portion of the program that is not fun. Having all these feelings that you haven't felt since you were a child and all of these thoughts and memories come back. But they're arising to the consciousness, not to have a story told about them, not to be revisited, not to dwell in, not to beat yourself up, not to judge others, but just to let it go. And sound helps to let it go. And then the way that I let it go, so once you've kicked it up, is to let it go with your voice. And this is what I teach people is like, now you've stirred it up with sound, and now we're going to stand together and we're going to sound it out. That's what I call it. Yeah. Let it out of your body, whatever it feels like. Don't be afraid. And it's interesting when people first start doing it. When I first started doing it, it felt like I was choking on the energy, like it couldn't come out.
I know. It's like right here, like
yes,
I know.
Until I was able to just be like, and let it all, just let it out.
And we're so taught not to ever scream or give strong emotions, especially as us women, because we're already told how extra we are and how emotional we are. And
like, stop crying. No.
Yes, you want a reason to cry?
I'll give you a reason to cry.
Yeah, even though you're hitting me, don't cry because I'm going to
I
give you
brought you
another.
into this world. I could take you out of it. Yeah, all those
All
things.
of the things. We have the same parents, right?
Yes, I think a lot of us did. They all went to the same dysfunctional parenting school.
Yes.
Well, because
Yes.
generations ago they didn't talk about feelings, and I know that in my house, and then I later came to find out that it's especially prevalent in uh, different cultural upbringings. So, like Native American households or Hispanic households or Black households, that the mindset is what happens in this house stays in this house, and you don't tell anybody out of this house
Yes.
what's going on. And
Yep.
so like that, and then that gets passed on generationally, right? So that you keep it in, you stuff it in, you leave the house and you put on your fake smile and you pretend like everything's normal.
Yep. And I always am telling you, audience, we receive more than our good looks and our quirks from our parents. We're also getting what they were mentally and physically,
For 7
mentally and
generations.
emotionally focused on at the time. And
Yeah.
this is what I believe. So I believe that we have 4 energy bodies, right? And so the mental body, the emotional body, the physical one, and the spiritual one. So
Right.
when we go to talk therapy and when we read all the books, your mental body has all the right answers, but the emotional body has gotten no it's not caught up. It hasn't gotten all this information, so it's holding on a cellular level all those emotions. So that's why the triggers don't go away even though you have the right thinking
Right.
and you're applying the right things. And so when sound happens, what happens is whatever, it's like a pimple, I always say, because the pimple brings all the toxicity to the top of your skin, so you could just push
Yeah.
that pimple, right? The same with your energy bodies.
Yeah.
So when you realize, this is what I love, when I learned that I don't have to talk about my junk, I don't have to tell no stories, whatever is already floating on the top is going to be released organically through the sound. It's like it loosens it up. It's like the pots and pans cycle, right? But
Yes.
then you need to rinse it off. And this is how I love how Joya says with the voice and with sound, because if you aren't able to let it extract from all of the areas of the body, then it still stays stagnant, and your voice is the most important thing you have in your life, because I believe we are all here to learn how to communicate, and every single moment of every day is an opportunity to do that.
Yeah.
Some of us do it better than others. And let me tell you, any of you guys who knew my young self, you all know ghetto Trey, ghetto girl still lives in here. She's just
Yeah.
matured and she's healed, and she's got a lot. Do I still have triggers? Yes. Do I still do sound healing? Yes. Is it a layer, like a onion layer? Yes. Huh, honey?
Yes.
Don't you think?
It is onion layers, and it's, I see it as cycles. So, but not, so if you're stuck in addiction, especially, which is my main thing that I was stuck in for many years, from the time I was 8 years old, stuck in the loop of addiction, which literally keeps you stuck, that you just go in a circle. You just keep going in a circle, going in a circle. You don't get anywhere, which is why you see people who just age, but their life stays the same. And it's like, how have you not grown as a person? Like, what is that? Because they're doing this. They're just going in a circle.
Yeah, I go there playing the record.
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
on the merry-go-round, not going nowhere. Huh.
Versus when you start doing the growth, you spiral. So now instead of just going like this, going like this. And so you come back to the same place you were before now, right?
Yes, and you
see
keep
it with
meeting.
different perception,
Yes.
but you keep coming back and meeting yourself again and again and again and again. And you keep going to these points where I call it, I've arrived at the place. I always word it like this. I say, oh, I've arrived back at that place where I'm bumping up against myself again. And then I know that that's my next edge of growth. And you just feel it. You feel it energetically when you get there. It's like it's a big leap you have to take now to get out of the circle, and to be able to leap up to the next spiral is to take a leap of consciousness. And once your consciousness changes, then you change what you're doing to be in alignment with that new consciousness shift, which then changes your feeling body and starts reprogramming your cellular memory body, so that your new habits that you've practiced become integrated and become on autopilot. So
you actually see the reflection of something different.
Totally. Your life starts to reflect outwardly what you are doing inwardly. And it's like, it's a matter of, I like that, who said, Franklin Covey, right? His whole philosophy with his time system was begin with the end in mind. Picture the end thing you want, and then break down the steps to get there and then do it. Right.
And then
And
do it.
you have to do it. You have to do the actions.
In baby steps, you guys.
Baby steps. You know what?
Baby steps.
I was just listening to a song, and everybody needs to go listen to the song. I sent it to my friend, as a matter of fact. And it's by, I'm going to find it right now because I just shared it with my friends.
All right. And I'll type it in and you tell me.
Michael Franti and Spearhead. And the song is Start Small, Think Big. Such a good song. Start small, think big. Ain't no better way to live. You got to think big and start small. You don't got to have a lot to have it all. It's such a good song. And I was listening to it and listening to the lyrics, and I was like, that's exactly it. It's all those small steps. And that's what I tell people in practicing. They're like, how did you get to where you are? And I'm like, it was 8 years of daily practice that every time.
Yeah. People act like I just woke up this way.
But here's the thing that people don't understand. And I think Oprah said this too. She said, everybody wants to be me now where I am with what I have, but nobody wants to do all the work it took to get here. So it's a matter of what choices are we making in our daily actions and our daily choices. And when we're confronted, let's say with addiction, right? Since that's one that I struggled with. When I'm confronted with that addiction again, am I going to let it override my body mind complex and just go into addictive behavior and slip into mindless behavior that's going to numb me? Or am I going to
that's going to continue to bring me the same cycle that I continue to receive?
I know what to expect with that. Or am I going to actually choose something different? And so even if one day I choose, no, I'm not going to do this behavior, and then the next day I do it again, at least the day that I chose not to,
one day, yes,
I've strengthened that muscle.
You have integrated new energy, new concept, and you applied it. Even if it started off less than what you had anticipated, it's still a change. It's still integrated new.
Yes. And there's little daily integrated changes that all of a sudden you see somebody you haven't seen in a year, right? Who's been doing a lot of work on themselves. And even in a year, you see them and you're like, wow, what happened to you? Yeah. And it's like, oh, well, I spent 365 days making different choices.
Exactly. Right. That's what I said. People always used to tell me, oh, you're so lucky. And it used to make me mad because I said, there's no luck involved in any of this.
No.
That is not lucky that I bust my butt, that I wake up in the morning, that I'm driven all day, every day to experience healing. And that's where it started for me. You know, I woke up. I started off in a family where I wasn't seen or heard, right? I got shut down in all the ways, shapes, and forms. I endured countless levels of abuse on all different levels, right? So of course, boundaries were crossed, all the things. I was a hot mess. I still wonder sometimes how I even made it. I left home at 15, you guys. I had 3 kids by the time I was 19. Wow. Do you think I was making a lot of great decisions?
But they were
but they all got me to right here.
Yes.
They all got me. Those were the little steps that it took to get me to this reflection that you see today.
Yes.
So be kind to yourself.
Yeah. And
in yourself.
In my studies of the Aramaic language, the original language of Jesus, and like I love the spirituality and what he was teaching and talking about. And so the word that he uses for what was interpreted as the Holy Spirit by the Greeks in the Bible, he actually called it the Rukadukucha. And it's a feminine force. It's a feminine energy that I have it, the way that I understand it. And as I've read the many interpretations of it, is that as I was reading, I was like, oh, this is the energy that comes along and cleans up all the messes that humans make and eventually makes goodness out of all things. So we can look through our life, and no matter how crooked the path, no matter how many times we fell into a hole, no matter how many times we went way off course down someplace we should have never been, which
dove off the mountain without my parachute.
Yes.
I rode the roller coaster without my seatbelt.
There's this little force that's like, okay, we're going to weave this in for this person's highest good. We're going to weave this in for this person's highest good, which is why, like, now that I'm at the age that I'm at now, and I'm living in the consciousness that I'm living now, that I really understand that narrow pathway, that I'm like, oh, this is what it means to be on the narrow path, meaning it's a path of integrity, of No means my no means no. My boundaries are for me, not for you.
Yes, it's a whole sentence, you all. No.
No means, and that, yeah, my boundaries are not for other people. I've had people ask me, how do I make all these people not step over my boundaries? I'm like, you don't. Your boundaries are for you. You can't make other people do anything.
Yeah.
You can just
And you
decide
get, and then you get to make choices if people keep stepping over them.
exactly. You're the
That's
one who has
the
to choose.
only thing you get, is to make a different choice. You
Yeah,
get to
and
choose not to answer the call, not to let them come over. You get to choose to say, what did you say?
you get to choose. No, I'm not going to do that. And yesterday I was with a woman, since I have this big event coming up in a week and a half. I'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah, we forgot to talk about it.
She had asked me to do, if I wanted to do something with her, and she's a really well-known sales trainer, and I do want to do this with her. But I said it was coming up actually tomorrow, and I just looked at her and I said, no, not this week. And then she's like, I love that you just said no, and you didn't say, oh, let me check my schedule and get back to you. You were just like, no. I'm like, because I know I can't. I know I'm not going to put that in, and why make a promise that I'm not going to keep, or
play that tiptoeing. I'm just accommodating you. I'm trying to make you feel good, but in the end, you don't.
I mean,
you don't, because you know you can't make it and you don't show up.
Yeah, wouldn't she rather know that I can't make it? I would rather know. Me too. I would rather know. And so it's really about your own integrity and staying in alignment with that own integrity. And you can say no to people and be nice. You can say no to people and still be kind. You don't have to be like, no. I'd like to throw barbs.
Yes. And I know I'm always like, thank you for that invitation. Yeah. I'm so grateful. And I really am, because what do I want? I want invitations. I accept and allow invitations. I also accept and allow that I give myself permission to say no, because I can't be everywhere for everyone at all the time, because I used to be that person. And guess who was all messed up? Right? Yeah, people I know you know that, girl.
Yeah, people pleasing is exhausting. And when I was in people pleasing, or in chameleon mode, as I call it, when I was a chameleon and trying to please everybody, well, guess
what? I call it shape shifting.
It's shape shifting. Guess what everybody thought of me in reality? They just thought I was an unreliable.
But they didn't know you.
No, they didn't.
This is what I realized, is as I kept being the shapeshifter to show up for you the way I thought you wanted me to, and for you the way I thought you wanted me to, then no one ever got to know the real me.
Right. Well, and did you really even know the real you at that point?
I didn't know who I was. I was a chameleon. Exactly. I was a shapeshifter.
But it's interesting now, Trey, do you have this experience too, like having gone on this path and done all this work and getting to this place where you are now? Do you have like this sense of there's been something familiar in you all along? Like, it's like you feel like the truest you've ever been, like it's always been there.
You know how I explain it? I explain it as all of the moments of impact in our life, right, made my physicality, like my different energy bodies, feel like a screen, and like the air can just blow through it, but I had no solidness about myself. And the more I heal, and the more I discover self, and so the more I discover self, then the more I heal, then the more those voids get filled, because then I believe that a little part of our soul gets put away for safekeeping, so that causes the void. And then when I absorb it back into me and heal it and own it, then my screen becomes a solidness that stands firmly, that cannot be blown. Does that make sense?
It totally makes sense. And I just had that experience this year when I remember when I was a little girl. I think I was 3 or 3.5, and I was in a situation that, well, I was being molested by somebody, and I remember popping out of my body. I remember having
because you're gone.
That I was like, oh,
it's the only way we could live.
Body, I don't have to be here. Boop. And I didn't pop back. That part of me did not pop back into my body until just this past July.
Yeah, because it was a way for safekeeping.
And then I felt it come back. I literally felt like this.
And you could feel it, huh?
I felt it.
And you almost know that aspect of you and what she would have wanted. And then all of a sudden you might want a little ice cream or a cookie or
baby self. And and since that time, it's been exactly what you said, like this much more solid self. And then also feeling like
It's the confidence and clarity you get from the healing because
Yeah.
you unleash yourself.
Yeah.
You bring yourself back. And that's why my website, my practice has always been called Return to Self. Because the moments of impact in life takes you away from who you were meant to be. And when you return to the original self, when you return to self, you're like, oh, my friend.
Because the only way that we can create what we're meant to create and be who we're meant to be and express what we're meant to express and be the divine beings we are meant to called to be is in the body. So if any part of us is out of the body, then we're not fully embodying our whole spiritual energy, all of ourself, the emotional body,
Yes.
the etheric body, my spiritual body, all have to be in here in this little container. And I really feel like, I feel like a boat. That's how I always have it, is like, this is my boat and spirit is my wind. And like, how do you want to steer me around today?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because when we make decisions solely from our mental body, right? The ego. And my perception is the reason why we get those crazy thoughts is because your ego, the mental body, is always doing one of three things: teaching you, protecting you, or motivating you. But listening audience, you have to remember it's only doing it based on the information that's been given up until this point. Because it can only get into your database from this lifetime that you put in it, seen, or experienced. So when you're wanting to have something new, experience something new, then just know that has to come from outside. And when you introduce new concepts, new energy, your mental body freaks out and is like, oh no, I got to protect you. What are you doing? Stop learning that. What are you trying to do? And this is where I go, I take back the bus and I put that little noise and I go, oh, there's my ego helping me to recognize I'm introducing something new.
Right.
And it's my physical body's recognize it, my emotional body's recognizing it, my mental body's recognizing it. So for me, I'm doing something right. But guess what, you guys? It feels like fear.
It does feel like fear. And with fear, so I love that you said that. And fear, like fear serves us, right? So it's like, and then that's where we get to
healthy fear.
use our
It's really
discernment.
good for you.
Yes. But we need to use our discernment. Is this fear stopping me from growing? And if it is, then I say,
that's why I love the three things. Is this teaching me, protecting me, or motivating me?
yes.
Because it's only doing one of those three things.
Yeah.
Always.
So I ask my fear when I notice that, and I say, oh, is this a fear that's stopping me from growth? And if it is, then I say, oh, hello, fear. And then my acronym for that fear is, you're a friendly energy alignment reminder. And so that's what I say. Like, oh, I'm having a friendly energetic alignment reminder that this is just calling me forward into expansion, versus, oh, there's a rattlesnake. I need to be afraid of that. I need to know. Since I live in Arizona, that's very
appropriate. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
It's so true. And it's just it's allowing yourself to perceive things differently, because it's not going to change that it's going to happen. And as you grow and heal, you are going to keep feeling different. And going back to what we were saying, as you keep meeting yourself, if you are growing and learning, you're going to have a different experience. And then you're going to kind of be proud of yourself. You're like, wow, I actually figured out what was going on in a few hours instead of days, weeks, or months.
Exactly.
Right. And then that becomes from days to, hours, and then it's minutes. And so either way, you're always going to keep getting the test or the check-in. And it's going to keep, because that's the only way you can validate yourself and your growth. Because when else are we doing it, you guys? Swear. You guys, I want you to tell me, when do you validate and affirm yourself? You guys, feel free to throw it in the chat. I keep forgetting for you guys to engage. I would love for you guys to engage. So
yes, please, for sure.
Please. Or any questions you have, feel free. You guys, my website is tratalk.net. It's my name, TreyTalk.net. Please go out there, www. I would love to answer any questions, hook us up, continue going. But Joya, I love this conversation. We forgot. Okay. We want to talk about your event, sister friend. So before
Oh,
we forget again, because you
yes.
know I love. So me and my business bestie Shantae, we commit to do something self-developmental that is leaving where we are once a month. So we're leaving to New Orleans on Saturday in 3 more days. We are next month going to a huge women's conference. I'm getting the location and supporting our beautiful sister La Amate, the amazing number goddess. And so we have in March we're going on a cruise, but everywhere we go, we integrate work.
Yes.
Because I'm here to help people. That's what I'm in Money Making Monday. I'm here to help everyone to know making money can be fun. Do you want to have fun, or you can keep staying on the merry-go-round?
No, abundance is our birthright. Abundance is our birthright. It's in it. It's really just a matter of claiming it. That we're like, okay, yes, I claim
Knowing you're worthy to receive it.
and knowing I'm worthy to receive it and deserving to receive it. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's go on to your event. Girl,
Okay, so my event is Vibrazer. It's actually it's my URL that's being shared. It's vibrazer.com next to my name. And this is actually an event that was literally downloaded to me in a literal dream. I woke up from the same dream 3 nights in a row at 2:22 in the morning every night.
And that's
so,
partnering, yeah.
Yep. So when I woke up, I was like, is this something that I'm supposed to do and create? And it was a big yes. I could feel it in my body. So I thought it was going to be in 2022 because I was like, oh, 2/22. It must be February. And so I was like, do you want me to do this like February 2nd or February 22nd, 2022? Like I was thinking that that's what it was, right? But nothing was lining up. Nothing was happening. And I was like trying to force it, right? So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to wait then and we'll allow for divine timing. If this is supposed to happen, it will happen. Well, it's happening. And what it is, what I like, more downloads have come about it. Before I said it was to make a cosmic splash out into the consciousness, because in the dream I saw, working with sound and voice, a group of people just holding one note, holding an intention of love and peace. And I could see that cymatic being imprinted onto the quantum field. And like you inhale that in and you have a higher vibration and you don't know why. So that's why I called it Vibrazer. In the event in my dream, I saw the name Vibrazer. So what it is that, but then I also had it recently downloaded like, nope, it's 2023 and it's a celebration of the new earth consciousness that has arrived and is arriving on this planet right now, this higher vibration, this lightness that everybody is feeling. And if you're not feeling it yet, what you are feeling is seeing really clearly all the ways that you're out of alignment, all the things that if you're not feeling the lightness, then the dark is really freaking bright and clear so you can see it. And I always say when shadows are only there for us to see when there's light. If we're in the dark, we can't see our shadows. We have no idea what's going on. But when we can see them, then we can heal them and clear them and release them. So this event is to help raise the vibration of everybody who's experiencing all of these energetic shifts, but then also to celebrate this new earth consciousness that is coming to this planet right now. And it's just going to be beautiful. I have Ma Muse coming. They're a wonderful, high vibrational, devotional band. And I have DJ Kaz Rashid coming from Florida. He's going to come and play conscious dance music. And it's going to be so much fun. I'm so excited about it. And it's in Mesa, Arizona, Sunday, 1/22/23. And I'm just super honored and grateful to be the conduit for it, to make it happen. And just all of the things that have unfolded and the people that are there. I have some surprise guests that I'm not saying who are going to show up. And it's just going to be really, really, really powerful. Yeah. Super powerful.
You guys, you want to be there? I'd love Arizona. If I wasn't already going to
New Orleans,
I would go because it's so close for me. I just drive down, and I have all my native peeps on the Navajo reservation. So
where are you at? Where do you live?
I'm in Denver, Colorado.
Oh, you're not far at all from me.
No, so girl, you feel free to let me know about anything because I have my own big drum. I have my own sound bowls. Like, girl, I got all this. Yep. I was like, I don't have mine here. I have it somewhere. But yeah, I had mine painted. I have a horse on mine because I know the vibration, and it's a octagon one.
Fantastic.
It's a double-sided
drum. Oh, I love my drum. I drum on people.
I know
all the time.
So, please, please, please. anything you want to coordinate in the future, I would love to participate, to support you, to go, because I'm all about raising the vibration. I'd love, and then I could go visit my medicine people, because I have all my tribe out there. So I would love to. And we go all over. So, and I love to drive. I have a little Nissan Juke. So
I love to drive.
I get like 35 miles to the gallon.
Fabulous.
I
really envision this event traveling. I already have people wanting me to do it in Dallas. I have someone who wants me to do it in Miami. So I'm like, you know what? Maybe it'll, going forward, be a smaller event, not so big scale as I have going on here, but doing a smaller event where we just meet at like a nice big yoga studio and have like 50 people that are there doing this.
And I know I could hook you up, because girl, we did an indigenous thing just like that, and pre-COVID, but a lot of the chiefs passed away, and a lot of the things, I just lost touch with so many of the people, but I knew I was ready for the new ways and the new people and the new invitations. But they used to do the same. That's what they did, a day or two event, and the people would go around. It was like a whole little crew. So then the person doing the sound, the different speakers, there was there was just the whole little crew, and we all would go around, and I live streamed most of these events. So I wasn't up front as much as I was in the back healing. Yeah. But now I'm in front of the camera now, people. Yes, I know everyone kept going, you got to get in front. So I'm in front of the camera now. So I love it. I love the thought, and I can guarantee you that there are people who would want it, who get it. I have people all over who would love to have you come and visit, that already have the places that you could do what we did. We just scheduled them and kept going, from Chicago through to around, and we did a nice little circle.
Oh, that sounds amazing. I'll have to touch base with you about that. And
so we went to Seattle. I think we started in Seattle, and then we would go in a big circle loop and go through Chicago and all those.
It's so powerful, and people don't realize the power of it. And this is
healing.
It's healing, and it's a consciousness event. There's no alcohol, no drugs, nothing being served like that there, because I want people to experience the genuine power of vibration, number one, and then also the vibrational joy and the oxytocin and the dopamine that gets released of being in a group.
Organic. You want people to experience organic high.
Exactly. There's no high like a vibe high. There is no high vibrational high.
It is illuminating, transformational. And when you're around other people like that, I guarantee you it will change who you are and change what you want in life, and you will start thriving. I love it. I love attracting people like this. So I'm first of all, very, very proud of you for letting for doing the work and not giving up. And that's what we do. We get these downloads, these intuitive flashes, and then it's up to us to do the work.
Yeah. And, and that's the thing too, is that I want to share with people, and what I've realized in this process of having that download was in August of 2021. So this has been a long time coming to fruition. And when I said yes to doing it, it was really.
So it's almost been it's been a year and a half for sure. Yes, a little over a year and a half.
It really became about, I say this, I'm like, wow, when you have a big dream like that and a big vision, that is the universe, that is your divine vibration calling you into more magnificent expression of who you're called to be, and who the work you do on yourself to answer the call and to create that thing is the most valuable thing of all. So I even told my husband, I said, if not a single soul was coming to this event, I would still feel like it has all been 100% worth it, because of the growth I've gone through to become the person to call in the other high vibe people to do this, to create.
Yeah, because it's a vibration, you guys, and that vibration magnetically pulls people. If you aren't here, it's because your vibration isn't letting you heal.
Law of expression, like creates like attracts like. So if there's people in your life,
it takes action. So Joya understands that energy requires stimulation, because or else it's dormant. Right. Money, guess what, is all energy, but it's a dormant energy.
Yeah, just
it's waiting for something to activate it. And just like you in here, when you're doing this in the record, something in you is that feeling of dissatisfaction, that feeling of, oh, I hate my life. That is the feeling, the energy that's doing its best to tell you that you could have something different.
Right.
It's
Pain.
telling you you're unhappy.
Yeah,
So if you don't take action
exactly it.
to shift it, then that energy, your vibration won't change. You have to actually do something then more than think about the disease.
Yeah, you're empowered to change it. You have the power to change it. If you keep thinking why, and and from a neuroscience point of view and understanding how the brain works, the brain only seeks to answer the questions you're asking it. And so if you're asking, why am I so sick? Well, A, you're going to make yourself feel sick. And B, you're going to attract to you more things to make you sick because you're
Oh, my foot hurts. Oh, I don't know why my foot always hurts.
Yep.
And then you go around talking to people,
Yeah.
I don't know, my foot's been hurting. Right?
Yes. Yeah.
And then you keep telling more people.
And what's really interesting, because I'm 51, and so I'm, people are getting older in my world, except me. I'm not.
Oh, honey, I know. I'm already 50. I just turned 57.
Okay, so you get this. So you'll totally get what I'm about to say. And when I'm around people who are like over 60 and they don't know each other, right? People who are just coming together to meet each other, they instantly start talking about their health problems, what's ailing them, what's wrong with them, what's happening that's just not going right, how aging is so hard, and this is how it's affecting me. And it's like this, it's this commonality.
Yes.
Let's find the worst common denominator that we have in common.
I was like, really, you guys don't have anything else to talk about? But
Yeah.
see, this is the facts.
Yeah.
The truth is they don't.
They don't.
Because
Yeah.
those
And
are
I
the
will
people
say,
who aren't going, oh yeah, I just went to the senior center and was getting my pool on, playing pool or swimming, or no, because they don't have something to focus on that's helping drive them to some new consciousness
and
or
youthfulness is
awareness.
an energy. We can keep our youthfulness no matter what age we are. If we keep that open curiosity and we're learning new things and we're trying new things and we have that playful energy that keeps us going. So it's really, it's a mindset. Age is just a number, and you don't have to age. Your body doesn't even have to age terribly as you get older. And when people are like, oh, how do you have so much energy? This is what people have asked me. How do you have so much energy? Because I feel like I'm 25, and
Yeah.
I just keep that mindset that I feel like, I always say I feel like I'm
Yeah.
25. I feel
I
like
feel
I'm
amazing. I'm in perfect health all the
I
time.
feel
I'm in
great.
perfect health. And if you guys recognize, people right now are living way past 100.
Oh
Just
my
like
goodness.
back in biblical times, how people lived to 120, 160, 180. Watch. And okay, if you really think about it, the people who are actually 110 now, you can't tell me that they ate well their whole life. You can't tell me that they did whatever their whole life. What I believe is it goes back to their thoughts and their emotions around their life. Because when you're not in judgment of yourself or what you eat, you have a different vibration about it.
It's
You
true.
have a different desire for it, right? And when I just love consciousness. Like you said, it's awareness. It's whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, and we can change it, right? It's and I had that same question drop into me. It was December 6th of 2020. What are we in? 2022. And it asked me, no, it was 2021. And it said, what vibration of consciousness do you want animating your body? That was the question. And it indicated that
You get to choose.
choice, or there was I'm like, oh, there's a choice. And so then I said, I'm going to go to work to healing my eating disorder. I'm like, this is the year I am healing this in myself. And I went to work to do it, to change that consciousness. And I did, and I'm free from it. And for the first time ever since I was 8 years old, I have snuck cookies in the middle of the night. And now I'm like, if I have a cookie, I want a cookie, I'll eat a cookie. I don't put any attachment. There's no energetic attachment to what that means anymore. It's like, it's just free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And isn't it amazing how when you lean into that perception around it, how you don't feel the need to want to eat a whole row of cookies.
That's exactly it. Yes.
You don't anymore when you give yourself permission to just indulge into whatever savoriness is coming. And it's a beautiful life. I love it. I love it because I know Well, I believe that our souls, are infinite. And when we are not in human form, we don't get to, we're energy. So you don't get to eat. You don't
We
get
don't
to
need an light bulb.
taste or smell or
No.
indulge in the senses. So for me, I know I'm an earth angel. I know I'm an angel that loves to come back to earth to grow and learn and help and do all these things. But they keep tricking me with the food. They keep tricking me to come back to endure this life and all that comes with it in
Yeah.
exchange for all of my senses to be heightened, to be stimulated. And I salivate over food. And I'm telling you, real talk, I love smelling things and I love touch. I love soft things. Oh my gosh, all
Yeah.
my family loves soft blankies. And I
Yes.
love that they love soft blankies because I love to touch and feel their soft blankies. And I buy myself soft, silky clothes.
Are you a
That
Taurus?
No, I have a Taurus rising though. I'm a Capricorn.
Those are such Taurus traits. All those things you're saying, I'm like, those are such Taurus traits. Um, my son, the second he was born, he's almost 17 now, but the second he was born, I looked at him, we looked each other in the eyes, and I was like, he sent me this message telepathically that was like, I've been here a million times. You don't have to tell me what to do. And I was
Yeah.
like, okay, got it. So, and he's a total earth angel. And I remember having a conversation with him when he was like 6, and he came home from school and he's like, Mama. And I said, yeah. And he goes, what's reincarnation? And I said, well, reincarnation is when you die. And I said, some people believe that when you die and you get born again and you come back into a body again. And so we're talking about reincarnation. And he goes, have you been reincarnated? And I said, oh, I'm sure I have. And I said, but I really hope in this lifetime that I get upgraded and I don't have to come back to this planet. And he looked at me really confused. And he goes, why wouldn't you want to come back here? This place is fun.
Done. That's right. And that's why we come back. And you are though, but you already answered your own question, Mama.
Yes.
Because
yes,
you aren't looping, you're sending.
exactly.
So you can't. And that's what I believe.
Right.
I believe that our souls, when you leave exactly the way to the, you leave energetically to the extent that you've grown.
Yes, it's vibrational. And
Yeah.
for those of us
Grown and healed, because not
yeah.
only do you need to heal, but then you need to grow. You need to replace it with whatever, right? In order to ascend, or else you're only partially, like you were saying before, you're not fully going, you're still having the triggers. So when you fully ascend, there's no way that your body, your soul cannot get upgraded.
That's
But
exactly it.
see, the thing is you're in control of your upgrade.
Yes. And some souls already are upgraded and they chose to come here to help and assist humanity. There's that too. And when
then their job is to maintain that.
They maintain it. And when I had my near death experience, so 2 remarkable things happened. And one was that I heard the most incredibly beautiful music I've ever heard in my life. It was made of light. I could still hear it in my memory. I've never heard it on Earth because it's impossible to make. Earth is too dense. And I saw my own light body next to my body. I saw it. And it was an androgynous figure. It was neither male nor female. And it was just pure white light. And it just radiated the most loving vibration I've ever experienced in my entire life. So that was my soulful self. And I saw my soul and I was like, oh my gosh, that's me. I recognized it as me, as my essence.
Yeah, sure.
And it's taken me all this time to integrate that vibration of that beingness, that essence into this physical body, because this physical body had so much trauma and memory stored that needed to be released and removed and cleared and just sent back to the nothingness. And music was the secret. And
neutralized. I love using that word.
That the music was, music was the neutralizing force to do that. And so that's why I'm so passionate of, with helping people to get beyond the block. Like when they get to that place,
yes, I know,
and they're bumping up, I'm like, well, now you just got to release all the trauma that's stored in your body so you can stop.
Yes. And I wish that there was some way that we could really show on a cellular level the energy release. That it happens. And you know what? Honestly, okay, I have to tell you, this is insane. Okay, so I actually have recordings of something very close. So Tammy and Anthony Chino, They are in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and they do the best sound bath I have ever experienced in my life. But they take you on a journey, and they have over 30 different devices. And so it's an actual whole symphony of, but they are very purposeful and very intuitive, and they go right. So they were doing this in it was a place right up there. We left Seattle and we had gone to a Sasquatch conference. I'm trying to think of where it was, and it's up by Canada, but it's still in US. And we're it's this huge mountain place, right? And they're doing this huge sound bath in this big open area.
Oof.
And people are just laying on the ground. You know, everyone has their little blanket because it was this huge tent camping event. Well, there was also like dorm room type of things on this big, huge facility, but it was also a lot of tent camping. So this big, huge, almost like football field looking place. All these people are laying down and they're having the sound bath. And I kid you not, you could see the color vibrations, and it was captured on lots of different people's footage of this conference. And I was live streaming this conference at the time, so I think I was one of the people, now that I remember, that you could see the energetic release because the color shades were captured in the sound bath. Yeah, out in the open. I love and these are the things I'm like, I love my life so freaking hard because you can't even explain this or imagine it. But when you get to see it, you're like, holy bejesus. I'm being nice.
Well, you know, most of what's real is we don't see it. We can't see it with our eyes, with our peeny little tiny spectra.
Well, and you know what the problem is because of the way our bodies were set, that the first few years is taking all the pictures. And so in order to see it, that's why people see ghosts from their periffs.
Yes.
Because this is a programming. And in order to see beyond the programming, you have to see something else that will still capture it and illuminate it so you can see it. That's why when people go to see the shadow, you won't see the shadow anymore.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
There's so, and I studied everything, you guys, just so you know. I learned all this because I did my best to make sense of this crazy body that was doing all of this amazing. And now I know I've just been reading energy my whole life, all kinds of energy. I didn't know what it was, but I just know now it's all energy. And that's when people tell me about good or bad. I said, oh, there's really not good or bad. There's polarity. That's all there is.
Polarity.
All this energy.
Exactly. Yeah.
And this, I loved what you were talking. Oh man, we got like 5 minutes. I just wanted to.
This went really fast.
I knew we would do this too. I was like, girl, we don't even need to have a topic because we're just going to zoom.
That's right. I'm like, oh, we'll be able to. We'll do fine.
We're gonna zoom. Okay, so we're gonna spend this last 5 minutes, you guys. I want you to see the little. I'm like, okay, see the little thing. I want you to go out to this beautiful Joya's website, and if you are anywhere near or around Arizona, please I can't beg you enough to join.
Come to Vibrator.
Yes. Because I swear by him. I lived by him. I would travel. I looked forward to the time where that's all I did. Travel to the next healing. And not only did I get to participate, but of course I get to do the work. Because I love healing. And if I could scream from the mountaintops that we all could be healed, seeing those amazing things, those are all tools there, guys.
Tools, all tools. More tools, drums. And actually what have my computer on is my monochord buds. Here's where you would lay.
Yeah.
And you lay on it while I play the strings, as you can hear.
And let me tell you, oh my gosh. Okay, so one of the most intense things I ever experienced really quick is and girl, it is in Arizona. So I would go every year annually. I haven't, well, pre-COVID, I went annually to the something of the healers, the gathering of the healers every year in Arizona. And there's a man there who has the biggest freaking drum, and it's thin. So it's like a thin drum, but it is huge in dimension. And
do you play it together?
And we would lay under it. So my whole body, so me and like somebody else would lay it, and he had it on a stand. and he would drum.
I need
And
this.
OM freaking G.
Ooh, that gives me goosebumps just thinking about it.
I know, girl.
Oh,
Okay, Google Gathering of the Healers.
okay.
It's right there in your home. If you go, let me know, because I will drive down there and meet you. I don't know if it's still happening. I know the lady who runs it. Her name is Michelle. She always does an amazing job. Amazing healers from all over come to this event. So,
Oh my,
yes,
I hope
go get drummed by the
you
drum
get
guy.
drunk.
Oh, yeah.
Get
And I
drunk.
was like, I never. And let me tell you, I've gone to countless. I've gone to. Have you heard of Dr. Dream?
No, Dr. Dream, no.
Dr. Dream he did then 120 sound bowl release. And let me tell you, after I got rung at, I went to 3 of those because I live streamed 2 of them, and one of them just went. I rang for days.
Oh, I bet. That's a lot of vibration coming.
It's too much for me, but you know what the beauty is? If you're a muggle, if you are just introducing yourself to this, it's like a shower. For us highly sensitive people who've already cleared off the shell, it's a lot.
But what I want to say about that too is to be circling right back to where we were talking about in the beginning with healers and people who do healing work, is with people who do sound, is to be super, super, super discerning, very discerning of who you're getting sound from, because that intentionality of another person imprints into your field.
It is.
So
you guys have to understand that.
Yes.
That's why I don't let nobody work on me who isn't of integrity.
No,
I know isn't doing the work.
Yeah, I've got left sound baths. And in fact, I had to remove somebody from the Vibrazer event who I just found out is out of alignment with some things in her own life, who wanted to be part of the circle of the space holders.
The safe circle.
And I told her, I have to remove you out of the integrity of and holiness of the event, because your energy imprints the field of the collective, and I can't have that. It's my responsibility as a creator to say no to that and to keep everybody safe and in alignment. And I'm super, 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 that is the most important thing, which is why, I myself have stopped drinking. I don't do anything now that interferes with my own vibration, because for me, it shifts my consciousness level. It changes my physical vibration, and it changes who I'm being. And as a healer, I think it's the most sacred work that you could ever be called to, and to treat it sacredly.
And that's why some people don't. And that's why it's so important. I keep dropping stuff, to be discerning. It is so important. Really and even with anything, just like anything else, everything else, just because it's a church doesn't mean that the people running it are of integrity. Nope.
And for you to trust that if your own body is saying no, to listen, because that's your divine IGS, your inner guidance system, that's saying this is not for me, and to not be afraid. I have been in a sound bath where I just got up and left.
I've been at several that I left.
Yeah.
Or that I just knew, and didn't even got like the heebie-jeebies, and I was like, girl, I gotta go. Let's go. Yes, please protect yourself. Okay, you guys, our time is up. Miss Joya, thank you. Thank you, listening audience. Okay, this is Trey. It's been wonderful. I am so excited for next week, Laugh and Learn Lunch. I cannot wait to have you. You guys, I appreciate everyone who shows up every week, and I am excited. Please connect with Ms. Joya. You guys want to get into her sound bath, especially if you're anywhere near Arizona. The link's right there. Please click on it. Show her some love. Give her some digital currency out there in the social media land and all the other places. And Joya, I can't thank you enough. I am so grateful that you came on. Thank you. And I send so much blessings for your forward motion. And I'm so excited to know, because I know we'll end up doing something together. I'm quite sure.
I feel it. I feel it too. Thank you, Trey. I so deeply appreciate you. Have a wonderful day.
Our drums want to meet.
Our drums definitely want to meet. They're like, hey, we want to be friends. And here's my beautiful rattle that I had made for me. One end is a beater and one end is my rattle.
Oh, love it. I love it. Yeah, I have so many different types because they're so helpful. Okay, we're going to get off on another topic.
I know we are.
Talking. So that's how I know you're my sister friend, because we can never stop shut the front door.
I'll
Okay, I'm going to
wait
shut
till
the
I
front
see
door,
you.
you guys, and I'm going to count you out. 3, sending you so much light and love. 2, blessings beyond belief, and 1, confidence and courage to go after the life you want. Blessings, everyone.